Hello. Welcome to EasyVB, Tips and Tricks 5. In the previous Tips and Tricks 4, we explained a method for repositioning and resizing controls in a running application, just as we can view now. In this video, Tips and Tricks 5, we will show you how the reposition and resize of the controls, or any other user preference for that matter, can be preserved and made to persist after the application has been closed and then reopened again. This is a very useful facility indeed. Before we go on to explain in detail, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and even comment in support of the channel. Thank you. Okay. So how do we persist application preferences? Well, we can do this by using settings. To demonstrate, we will continue to use our dog and cat application from Tips and Tricks 4. To find settings in the IDE, go to the Project tab. Scroll down to Properties, and click Properties. Scroll down to Settings, and click Settings. We can see now that we have a table with 4 columns headed Name, Type, Scope, and Value. The name is the name of a setting. We can type a name we want, say, EasyVB, and we can think of the setting as a type of variable. As our setting has a name like a variable, we would expect it to need a data type also. We can set that on the next column headed Type. Click in the down arrow or chevron, and there we will see a selection of familiar data types pop up. For the moment, just choose Boolean. The next column is headed Scope, and there are only 2 choices here, user or application. The distinction here is that, for user, the value of the setting can be changed by the user when the application runs, whereas, for application, the value cannot be changed by the user. So user is the selection we want in this case, as we expect the user will change the position and sizes of the controls, and for those settings, or preferences, to then be saved. The next column is headed Value, and we will just leave that blank, or the default value, as values will be changed when the application runs. Okay, so now we have set up our first setting. We will need several more, but before we add more, let's change the name of this first setting to App was run, and we will leave it as a Boolean type. We will use their App was run setting to keep a record of the application has ever been run. It will become clearer why we have done this later in the tutorial. Now add another 2 settings, pick box lock, X, as short, and pick box lock, Y, as short. These settings will be used to store the X and Y coordinates of the picture box location. Okay, now let's write some code for the settings. First, go to the Form 1 load event handler and add the following lines of code. If my.settings.app was run equals true, then pb1.location equals new point, open bracket, my.settings.pickboxlock, x, comma, my.settings.pickboxlock, y, close bracket. End if. Go to the Designer view, click on the form, go to the Events menu, scroll down to Form Closed, and double-click on it. We have now created a Form 1 closed event handler in which we will write some code. Most are familiar with the Form 1 load event, which executes some code as the application opens. The Form 1 closed event is similar, but executes code when the application gets closed. So now write the following lines of code in the Form 1 closed event. My.settings.app was run equals true. My.settings.pickboxlock, x, equals pb1.location.x. My.settings.pickboxlock, y, equals pb1.location.y. Okay, now run the application. Change the position of the picture box, then close the application. Run the application again. Now we can see that the position of the picture box is where it was when we last closed the application. Run it just a few more times. We can see for every run, we have saved the new position of the picture box, which persists as a setting. Okay, now that we understand how settings are working, let's add two more settings, for the picture box width and height. Name these, pic box width, and pic box height. Add the following code to the Form 1 load event. pb1.width equals my.settings.picboxwidth. pb1.height equals my.settings.picboxheight. Then in the Form 1 closed event, add two more lines. my.settings.picboxwidth equals pb1.width. my.settings.picboxheight equals pb1.height. Run the application. We can see that the picture box is now missing from the form. What has happened? Well, because we have already been debugging, the setting, app was run, has been set as true, and therefore, at Form 1 load, the picture box width and height collect the My.Settings default values, which are 0, and this effectively disappears the picture box, as it has been given properties of 0 width and 0 height. Not to worry, we can fix this easily for our debugging and application development purpose. Add the line, my.settings.reset, into Form 1 load. Then knock out to comment all of the code within the closed event. Run the application once and close it. Go to the code view and now knock out to comment the line, my.settings.reset. Also, uncomment the lines of code previously knocked out of the Form 1 closed event. Run the application again. We can see that the picture box appears as normal after we have reset the settings. This time change the position, height, and width of the picture box. Close the application, then run the application again. Now we can see that both the picture box position and size are persisted from the last run of the application. By adding more settings and code, in a similar way for both of the buttons, we can persist also their size and position. Here is the additional code for that. Now a demonstration of the application running, closing, and running again, with all sizes and positions being persisted between the runs. We can see the value of settings clearly now. Okay. Let's try one more thing with the settings, by attempting to persist the picture box background image, cat or dog. How would we do that? First we need another setting. We will call it picboxpic, and give it a string data type. Now when we run the application, and load my cat or my dog to the picture box by clicking the buttons, we want to pass the value of the image tag as a string to the picboxpic setting. This is easy to do. In the click event handler for the buttons adjust the if, then statements to add additional lines. My.settings.picboxpic equals my dog. My.settings.picboxpic equals my cat. Then in Form 1 load, write the following long line of code. pb1 background image equals directcast, open bracket, my.resources, resource manager, get object, open bracket, my.settings, pickbox pick, close bracket, comma, image, close bracket. It's a long line of code, but effectively all it does is retrieve the image from the application resources that has the same name as the setting value, then places that image as the background image of the picture box. Try now running the application a few times and select the dog or cat image. When we close and reopen the application, we should now find that the image of the picture box is also persisted along with all positions and sizes. Good. That works fine. One final and important point to cover about settings. It is important to know that when settings are changed, they are not automatically saved. To save the settings, we need to execute the line of code my.settings.save, just as we write now in our closed event. Actually, for our purpose, we do not need this line of code, as for certain events, such as closing an application, the settings are automatically saved. We can find out about this by exploring the Visual Studio IDE. In the IDE, click on the Project tab, scroll down to Properties and click it, then click on Application. We can see here that there is a checked checkbox, Save My.Settings on Shutdown. This is why we did not need the line of code My.Settings.save. But there are reasons we would elect to uncheck this box. If, for example, we wanted to give the user the option to save or not save their data and preferences. In that case, we would uncheck the box and write some code in the application that would give the user the option. For the moment, to demonstrate, we will just uncheck the box in the application window, and knock out to comment the Save Settings line in Form 1 closed. Now run the application, close it, and rerun it. This time we can observe that the changes are not persisted, because the settings are not saved. We can uncomment the Save Settings line in Form 1 closed, then, when we run the application again, we can observe that changes are persisted once more, even though the Save Settings checkbox in the IDE application window remains unchecked. Okay. We hope this video has provided some understanding of settings and how you could use them, but go ahead and explore how to apply settings in different ways in your own projects. Thanks for watching. We hope this tip and trick was useful. If it helped you, please like, share, and subscribe.